Hey everyone, today we'll be taking a quick look through maintenance operations inside of TRIRIGA. So I want to do a quick overview of the entire life cycle of what happens from making a service request as an end user, accessing that service request as a maintenance technician, and then we'll go into how are those maintenance technicians assigned to those work requests. So a little bit more of the managerial role behind that. So without further ado, I want to jump straight into this. So this might look familiar to you. This is our TRIRIGA self-service kind of end user portal. And so you might have seen some other videos around reserve, move, locate, but today we're going to be focusing on this request service. So this is where we're going to have maybe an issue with light, HVAC system. As an end user, you can go in and say, hey, I have this issue. I need someone to come and fix this. And before we click on this, we can scroll down and see that we've actually had a few of these already assigned and issued. So these can be anything from, general repairs, electrical lighting. Some of these are moves down here, but they can also go into climate control as well. So we'll go ahead and jump up to request a service. So going in, we can immediately say if this is going to be for ourselves or for someone else. This is helpful for if maybe you're an executive assistant and there's an issue with an executive's conference room, an executive's lighting is off or something just like that. Today, I'm going to be focusing on myself, and we're also prompted, of course, where is this happening, what building, what floor, and what room. The problem is, if you look at these room names, I wouldn't know what this room is looking at this generic name right here. So of course we always have the option to go into the floor plan and select what room it is. So it looks like it's hard to see, but it has this one cubicle selected right here because that's where I'm sitting for the day. I'm going to go ahead and say that we're having an issue in the stairwell over here. And I'm going to decide it's going to be a lighting issue that I saw. So easy enough to click into that category. And we have all these drop-down menus, so maintenance isn't swarmed with things called other or other issues that don't fit into one category for quick initiation of who should go out and fix that. So our problem type should be once again a drop-down. And I'm going to say that the lights are out in the stairwell. And so we can add a description. I don't think that's necessary here. I also don't think we need a picture for the lights are out. It would just be a picture of a dark stairway, right? So we can add these if they're necessary, but sometimes they're pretty self-explanatory. So we're going to go ahead and submit this service request. We have our ID number, so if we ever have to reference it again, so maybe if this is something that's happening at our desk and we want to touch base on where the service request is at, we can keep this ID number handy and look back and find that later on. I'll go ahead and close this out though. Scrolling down, we can now see that we have a review in progress, which means that it's been sent to maintenance and they're going to go ahead and assign someone to that and get them out and get it fixed as soon as possible. So this is all an end user does. They say, I have an issue, let's ask someone to fix it. And then hopefully, they see very quickly that the issue has been fixed. Where does that go on the back end? Where that happens is we're going to go over here to our other Perceptive application called Work Task Services. This can be accessed by a maintenance supervisor, manager, or by a maintenance technician. We can immediately kind of filter by maybe we want to see what's currently in progress, completed, or unassigned. Going over to unassigned, we should see something come in from, it's actually a bunch of these over here. So we can see all of them of our issues. We can see corrective maintenance, preventative maintenance, or something that we've created ourselves. So maybe I want to go actually and see what's currently in use. If I don't want to, in this demo, go ahead and find that lights out situation. So I want to go ahead and see by priority what kind of needs to be fixed next, right? I can easily go in and click on this and get a little bit more detail. I can go ahead, if I actually know what I'm working on before I click into it, we have this timer over here, which as a maintenance technician, we might not always know what the average time to fix things are. So we have a timer that can say, okay, I started working on this now, maybe pause it, take a lunch break, come back, say I'm still working on this. So we have an average time of what it takes to fix something like this. This is also beneficial for maybe a maintenance supervisor who has a bunch of corrective maintenance to do that one day, and he'll tell John Doe, say, hey, John, we have this issue. This should only take you on average, 30 minutes. I'll put this first, but then we have time the rest of the day to do something else. That's where we see this being really beneficial and helpful. And if it's taking a little bit longer or even shorter than what it should, maybe that can raise just kind of not a red flag, but maybe a yellow flag to say, let's make sure that this was done correctly and make sure that it was done up to our standards. So clicking into this, we'll receive a little bit more information about this issue that we have. We immediately have our supervisor's phone number. If we want to contact him, we can change the priority if we go into here and say, okay, this actually isn't as severe as we thought. So maybe the air conditioner, let's pretend this is in winter, maybe it's not a high priority, it's a lower priority. This is where we can start the timer again. We can read into the request, see where the location is, see which asset is available, and even add other assets if we need to, because this one looks like we might need to remove the copier from the air conditioning assessment. We'll also go into materials. It looks like we have none right now, but this is actually where we can go in, press plus, order materials, and say, I need a new filter inside the air conditioner, something like that, X, Y, and Z. Then we can see who's assigned to this. Right now, only we have a supervisor assigned. And this is where we can go into the next step where we talk about how does the SAM supervisor assign someone to this going forward. In addition, last but not least is the comments and photos, because we do know that going into some maintenance tasks, things come out of it, right? It's not always as simple as going in, fix this, get out of there. We tend to find a lot more, I don't want to say issues, so there's always something else typically going on whenever we're looking into a certain condition assessment. So maybe, for example, we can complete this and go back to the main page and said, I completed my work task, but while I was there, I saw that there's this new task that needs to be completed as well. So on the go, this is because this is a perceptive application. This could be on a tablet or a phone, for example. On the go, filling out our assessment for the work and task we were assigned, we can easily add a new task just at the top and do that while we're out on site fixing that first task. This is the general overview of what this maintenance technician sees, but let's take one more step and go into a supervisory role. So going over to SAM Supervisor's homepage in TRIRIGA, we see first we can populate the page with a lot of graphics, maybe some charts as well of what's going on in the building. Some of these charts are great to say, wow, we've got a lot of things complete down here, but we also have a lot of work orders that are unassigned. Instead of focusing mainly on this chart right now, we're going to go over to the work planner and once again show how we can just easily drag and drop certain tasks to certain people. So we're going to go switch from facility engineering to actual maintenance services. So this is actually what we put into the system as that end user on the Perceptive Application portal. And we can go in and simply either click and assign it over here, or we can simply drag and drop over into maybe Ben and get him this position. So as we'll see that this takes it out of our unassigned maintenance services, and Ben actually gets his hours filled up and shows the number of tasks he has for that week. This, of course, is based on a 40-hour work week. This can be easily configured to something else, but it's a really great, quick and easy way to see which of my employees have done, not necessarily done more work, but have more availability to do more work. So a quick overview, we can always click into this and see a little bit more detail of what he's working on. So if I had more assigned to Ben, we could see it kind of separated by day. It had multiple days down here, and we can go ahead and edit that assignment, maybe change that this shouldn't take 4 hours and change the priority, just like we did in the other application. But this is just our quick and dirty run through of maintenance and operations inside of TRIRIGA. I'd love to hear your feedback and let me know what I can do and go into more detail with next time.